Hey guys, it's Devin.
And Chris, and welcome back to Sip, Savor, and Celebrate. So, I seen an advertisement the other day that kind of threw me for a loop, and I thought, well, it's not my favorite kind, but we're going to return back to Patron because, and I'm going to read this because I thought it was interesting. It says, Patron now, tequila is proudly additive free, using only 100% Blue Weber agave, water, yeast in its production, and emphasize authenticity and integrity in the crafting process. So I know that
But they've never really technically used additives
no,
as they've used underripe agave.
correct. And then, but, and I know people love Patron. I know they do. And
Yeah, rap has made it famous.
I used to like Patron, but then it got to be tasting and smelling like bad college decisions.
Everyone has one of those stories.
But before we get into this, let's talk about our sponsor.
Sure, the Neat Glass here has been with us for about a year now. They make one of the best glasses backed by science to expel the ethanol out the side so you can really determine what the artist has put into it so that you can enjoy the tasting experience. That's the word I was looking for, experience.
Yeah, you want the overall experience to be better and, just...
You can head over to theneatglass.com and get your set of glasses 15% off using our promo code
SSCNEAT. But let's get into it. I mean, now going over here to the Tequila Matchmaker, they are 40% alcohol by volume. I just got the Blanco, the Repo, and the Añejo. But as I remember, they weren't my favorite, so that's why I didn't want to go for the big bottles and waste my money.
What?
Talk about being honest.
Excuse me.
So they're using agave's resource from the highlands, Los Altos. They use deep well water to rinse the fibers. They are using a combination of wood fermentation tanks with and without the fibers. They use copper pot stills to distill it. They use both a Tahona and a roller mill to crush the agaves. It's distilled twice. Stone brick ovens is how they cook it. And it is a natural cork, which is kind of cool. That I have to agree. Carbon filtration. So that's a little different. And it's kosher, so it's been blessed. So let's get into this just because I want to give it an honest review. Well, that's a little bit lighter than normal. Maybe the glass might make it better for me.
Yeah, I mean, just light agave.
Yeah, it's super light, but the alcohol is there.
Right. It is always alcohol forward.
And that's kind of what I remember. Salud. Oh.
Yep, it's Patron.
It's not my favorite. But let's try and dig some stuff up out of here. What do we taste? It's very peppery. I do get some spearmint in there. I'm trying to look past the alcohol. But it's
salty, briny,
bitter.
There's a little bit of a mint to it.
Yeah, I see your mint.
I think it's very mineral based. A little bit of, I would say, white pepper kind of rounds it out. Not a whole lot of citrus or anything going on, which are typical from the Highlands, but
if you let it sit there for a while, you do pick up on the cooked agave. But it's very light. The alcohol, the pepper, and that is first and foremost. But then if you let it evaporate on your tongue, then I finally get some of that. I do get some of the agave. I get mint and black pepper. That's what I'm getting.
All right, on to the Reposado.
Does it say how it's what they use for the Repo? Now they do have some of their other higher end Patrons, like the El Alto, El Cioto. Those are pretty good. But let's get into this repo. Let's see here. What do they use? I need to rinse. It's sticking on my tongue still.
See,
Okay. Here's what they age in. It's a combination. They've got French oak barrels, American white oak barrels, custom hybrid barrels, new and used barrels. So they're just tossing everything in everything, and then once it's ready, they just mix it all together.
Yeah.
Blend it all together.
It's very light. I mean, for using a hybrid of a few different barrels, and especially French, you don't really get that on the repo.
It's very, very light. There's not much there. I still get the Blanco, which is still light on the nose, but alcohol forward.
I think I lose the alcohol forward of it, but I also don't get like anything to replace it. So essentially,
There's
me-
kind of a cologne there.
for me,
I'm-
you're really smelling kind of like the water source.
I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. I just can't pick much else up. Salud. Now there's more flavor on the repo than the Blanco. It's like a slight caramel. I get some vanilla now, some citrus notes, and the pepper kind of tones down.
The repo really is bringing all the influences of the different wood they use. So you're getting the American, you're getting a little bit of that French, you're getting a little bit of what they're calling the hybrid.
But it's not overpowering.
But that's all you're getting. I'm not getting any vanillas or anything like that. All I'm getting is what? It's like, here, take a bite out of this barrel. And that's all it ends for me.
I get the barrel notes, but that's what I'm talking when I say slight caramel, slight vanilla, because that's usually what the wood imparts upon here. It's not the best, that's for sure. I mean, all of these would be just fine making a margarita or making something, but you're just basically adding alcohol to add alcohol. It's not a pleasant experience for me on these basics. Let's get into that añejo. Well, now that smells nice. It's not bad.
I thought the nose on this one was the worst.
Really? You usually like something that's slightly sweet forward, and that's the way I feel on this one.
No, this is definitely wood and alcohol forward.
The glass definitely helps. I'll be it that way, because normally it's all alcohol and college bad decisions, as I said earlier.
And you must have had a lot of bad college decisions.
You have no idea.
Did you at least put a cream on it?
Now, there's a bitter aftertaste on that one. It starts off good, but then it ends bitter.
No, I was going to say the sweetness that finishes it out is overly sweet to me. Like they added back in some agave syrup or something to try to sweeten it back up, which technically isn't a bad additive, but still.
Yeah. To me, I think it's the most pleasant out of all of them, but then it stops, and then it switches to being bitter. So it starts off good, ends not so great to me.
Well, there you have it.
There's
the drink through of the Patron spirits, their basic models.
Just your basic bitch. No. I know that they have a lot of influence in there, and I think they might be one of the ones that are dipping into the whole CRT versus Tequila Matchmaker, but I can't prove that. But they're blatantly putting it out there as additive free when the CRT explicitly at the end of the year told everyone, you have to stop advertising as additive free because it tends to make the other ones that do add additives as possibly unhealthy. And that's what the CRT was going after on that. I know there's a big hullabaloo about it. They're even elevating the lawsuit. They just saw another article the other day about it. So I don't know how I feel about it because I do want to know what's in my tequila. I do want to know what's in it. I think that's fair. I don't care who tells me as long as I can trust them. But now I kind of feel like, oh, well, maybe I can't trust the CRT, but maybe I can. I don't know. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm not at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I wish that it was easier to say, okay, this has ... and then they added in a little bit of glycerin to make it better for this particular palate. But ultimately it is about drink what you like. And I know a lot of people love and prefer Patron over some other programs.
But that's because the influence has been rap, and they did about 10 years ago. They brought it out with Patron with Bartender by T-Pain and Akon. They were the biggest motivators. But you know what? That's a story for a different day. We appreciate you tuning in, and always remember to sip, savor, and celebrate. Salud.